Okay, thank you all for coming. The shir is sponsored Leilu Nishmat David ben Chusni Abraham Moshe ben Abraham Avrash ben Leah Avner ben Biti, and also Yael Ella bat Berta Geula Ben Istam Baal Sarah bat Fega Marusel Yafa bat Ksio. Okay, tonight's topic, miracle. Also, whoever's on the WhatsApp group obviously got to see that little skit that we sent. There's a movie actually called Miracle. So that's why it's actually going to tie into our Parsha very nicely. Mashmua Shama Uba. Rashi's asking on the first pasuk in this week's Parsha. Which Parsha is it this week? Oh, Yitro. Rashi is asking, Mashmua Shama Uba. What did Yitro hear that he ran to Bnei Israel? Rashi gives two answers. He heard about Kriyat Yamsuf. What is Kriyat Yamsuf? Splitting of the sea. And he heard about Amalek. What's Amalek? When we hear Amalek in Shul, what do? We stomp our feet. It's a nation that wanted to challenge the Jewish people and wanted to fight. No, while we got the Torah right after the Kriyat Yamsuf. The question we have to ask is, why did Yitro have to wait until Amalek came? Wasn't enough for him Kriyat Yamsuf? Wasn't enough for him the splitting of the sea? Rashi's asking, Mashmua Shama Uba, what did he hear? He heard about Amalek and the Kriyat Yamsuf. He heard about these two episodes. Mefarish comes, the interpretation says, you know why Amalek comes? Amalek is Gematria. Oh, very nice. Amalek Gematria Safek. What's Safek? Doubt. Amalek Gematria Dola. Dalid Vav is 10, 4 and 6. Lamed is 30, and Reish is 200, 240. Mashmua Shama Uba. What did he hear that he ran? What did he hear? He heard that Bnei Israel are dealing with Amalek. Ha'im hayesh Hashem bekirbenu, the Jewish people said. They challenged last week's Parsha. B'shalach. The question is, Yitro was dumbfounded. He said, how is it possible a people that just saw a sea splitting, Amalek follows? If Amalek is there, it means the Jewish people are sinning. All the interpretations, all the commentaries come and says, you know why Amalek came? Because the Jewish people had doubt in God. But Yitro, he was a convert. He said, 1 second. They just saw a splitting of a sea and then they fell out. Mashmua Shama Uba, Yamsuf and Amalek. If it was Yamsuf alone, I would understand. He ran because wondrous miracle happened. No. Rashi's coming and telling you, you know why he ran? Because he heard about Amalek. So he said, if Amalek is approaching, that means the Jewish people have doubts. But 1 second, how is it possible for the people to have doubts after they see a miracle like the sea splitting? You hear the question? That's the question. So he ran. Now, who cares for Yitro? For Jethro, why would you care? Because Yitro was a convert. He said to himself, I'm a Baal Tshuva. I'm a convert. If they fell and they saw a splitting of the sea, you know what's going to happen to me in another month? I'm going to fall off too. Tonight, you came Thursday night class, we're going to split the sea. That's for sure. You got inspired. Many people are coming in for 5 years already. Every week, they're getting inspired. Ask them, are you following up throughout the week? Where does the infatuation go? Yitro couldn't understand. 1 second. You're telling me God showed you a splitting of a sea and you have doubts? Something is wrong. We have to understand the human psyche here a little bit. On a scientific notion, we have to understand how humanity and human beings cultivate and operate scientifically. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to give you the Torah here, the best psychologist book in the world. The best psychology book in the world, not written by a human being, from a Kodesh Baruch Hu God. That's the source. And that's the Parshat. That's how, I'm only giving you one pasuk tonight. I'm giving you the first Rashi. That's all you're getting. And I think it's overwhelming, even that one pasuk. So where did the infatuation, where did the inspiration go? Hence the topic, miracle. Now this is not my question, obviously this is Yitro's question. And like we said, being a new convert, Yitro wanted answers. He said, if a nation that just saw a splitting of the sea fell, I'm next on. I have to go ask Moshe Rabbeinu. So he runs to Moshe Rabbeinu. And he asks Moshe Rabbeinu, inspiration, motivation, infatuation, miracles. What's the formula to keeping the momentum going? What's the mechanism here to keeping the momentum going after Thursday night class? After Shabbat. Shabbat is awesome, right? We all get inspired on Shabbat. Motzei Shabbat, Sunday, it dies out. How do you keep the momentum going with this infatuation and inspiration? How do we do it? What's the formula? Okay. That's maybe a superficial answer that everybody knows, but I need something that's going to work. I want you to leave here tonight, you put something in your pocket, and I know the secret now. What's the metaphor? So it's very simple. We have to open up a Gemara. The Gemara is in Megillah, Daf Vav Amud Bet. Listen to this. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Im ya'amer lecha adam. If a person's going to come and tell you, Yagati velo matzati al ta'amin. I went, I toiled, I sweat, and I didn't find, don't believe him. Your father tells you, Jonam, go bring me my slippers from the second floor or from the attic. Your son goes, Pop, he comes back down 2 minutes later, I didn't find anything. The Gemara says, don't believe him. Yagata umatzata, lo matzat al ta'amin. Person comes and tells you, there's no business in the market. I'm not making any money. Don't believe him. There's a lot of opportunity today. A lot of opportunity. People are making hundreds of millions of dollars today. Young guys. So if he comes and tells you, I went to the market, I couldn't find any job, I couldn't find the job, don't believe him. Lo yagati v'matzati. I didn't toil. You know how I became a very wealthy man? How I became successful? I woke up in the morning. I became who I became. Don't believe him. Rav Ovadia Yosef, you know how I became Rav Ovadia? I woke up in the morning. I put on sunglasses and I put on a big coat. I put on the gold coat. That's how I became Rav Ovadia. Don't believe it. Lo yagati v'matzati gam al ta'amin. Yagata u'matzata ta'amin. You toiled. You put effort, you put the determination, believe. Moshe Rabbeinu told his father-in-law, Yitro, come here, let me tell you what's going on here. When the sea split, they didn't work for it. So of course the infatuation is going to die out. Thursday night class, they came to enjoy themselves. Of course it's not going to last. What's the formula? Yegia. Toil. Sweat, determination, effort. That's what we're missing here. That's the ingredient to this concept. If you remember this, you'll be a Ben Torah. Guaranteed. It won't happen any other way. You can't come and say, look, I have a Star of David. Look at my chain. No. You have to come to shul. You have to come in the morning. To come at night, you have to open a book, you have to toil, you have to put in the effort. And after achieving this climax, obviously, after achieving inspiration, there's no more higher high to reach. And as a result, humanity or human beings fall off. So the concept and the challenge here is maintaining and consuming the strength and consuming the fervor. And the formula is avodah. Okay, we have more here also. David HaMelech said it best. David HaMelech, Mi aleh b'har Hashem u'mi yakum bimkom kodsho. Who's going to climb the mountain and who's going to maintain that level? Mi aleh b'har Hashem, who's going to climb the mountain of God? That's one achievement. That's one goal. But then he says, Umi yakum bimkom kodsho, but who could maintain that plateau of being inspired is one thing. I'm not saying inspiration is no good. You need inspiration. Inspiration is awesome. You can go on YouTube if that's what works for you today, with some music behind it. You know what I'm saying? To get inspired. Watch something, a motivational video to get inspired. But after, it follows up with hard work. You can't keep on watching that inspirational video without hard work, because then you're going to be like the Yamsuf generation. You saw the miracle, God could split the sea for you. Some people have this thing, if God really is around, let him split a sea for me. No, you got it all wrong. He's going to do that. If a person ever who's married here, ever saw his wife giving birth, I'm saying, if you ever saw, that's a splitting of a sea right there. Okay? So if a person walks out of the room that day, his world changes. His state changes. His state changes. Where does it go? After the first one, he came with flowers, he came with a balloon. After the fourth time, he tells his wife, take an Uber, I'll meet you there. Give birth, don't worry about it. What happened the first time he came like this? If you pay attention, if you go to shul, you see a veteran in shul, his tefillin is falling off. He has coffee and has a cell phone. 20 years, he prays in shul, Every day he's there. But then you see the new guy that comes in. Once in 6 years, guy. He puts it on, he looks in the mirror, What's the difference? What's the difference? Huh? He's inspired, he's new. He's inspired for the moment. But as time goes along, the infatuation dies out. And that's what happened exactly to Bnei Israel. God showed him the miracles. Gemara comes and says 250 miracles in the saga of Egypt, not 10 plagues. Some Farish comes and says 250 plagues. Blood, frogs, kinim, night, dark, wind, splitting of the sea, matan Torah, resurrecting the dead. They died and they come back and they're still rebelling and they're talking about, by the way, do you have any meat? We need meat. We need onions. את האבטיחים, את הכישורים, את הבצלים. What's in their mind? You're dealing with greatness. You're thinking about batzal? The secret is, יגעת ומצאת תאמין. לא יגעת ומצאת, אל תאמין. You toil, you sweat, you put effort, believe it's going to withhold and sustain itself. You got inspired, you came once a week. You're going to be a once-a-week guy. That's good too. I'm not eating your lunch right now. I'm not taking that away from you. Shabbos Jew is also good, if you could do that minimum. But it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to take it to levels. You're not going to take the strides. You're not going to be great. You'll be a participating, baseball hat Jew. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. The Torah, by the way, is not biased. The Torah offers you so much inspiration, motivation, healthy state. Parnasa, everyone wants to use the Parnasa chip. How much is it? How much am I going to make? Can I buy Ptichat HaEchal? You got it all wrong. Our priorities are wrong. It's not the money. Besides all the blessings that God tells you, you're going to get blessed, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Fine, that's like the cherry on top. And we have many, many classes throughout the years that we have, we broke it down. So David HaMelech says, Mi ale bar Hashem, who's going to get up to the mountain? That's one challenge. The second challenge is, Umi yakum bimkom kodsho, who could last? Who could stay in the ring? It's one thing to get into the ring with the chant. You get into the ring, it's a big deal, right? But it's another thing to go 12 rounds with the champ, to stay in the game. I'm assuming you're a big underdog, which most of us are. Right? But at least you went 12 rounds, blow to blow with the champ. That's also an achievement. To go first round, to get one punch and you're out, it's possible, one punch. You're not prepared. Of course, one punch and you're out. One discouragement, you're out. One client rubbed you the wrong way. God, I don't dare. One refuah shlema problem in your house. I don't believe. Of course. There's no yagata. There's no yagia. One onion is missing. I'm not believing. I want meat. Because there's no yagia. There's no hard work. There's no effort. It's hollow. There's solid gold and there's hollow gold. What's the difference? They both look the same. One chain is puffy, this big Cuban link. But inside it's hollow. Nothing inside. It doesn't last. The other one is solid. And then there's brackets of solid. There's 10 carat, there's 14 carat, there's 18 carat, right? There's brackets. So this game it never ends. We always have to be striving. It's like you're on a bicycle. If you're on a bicycle and you're not pedaling, what happens? If you're on a cliff, we're all on a cliff. You don't pedal, what happens? You go back. The Gaon Vilna says if a Jew is not climbing the charts, he's going back. If you're not learning Torah every day, you're going backwards in life. It's not my words. I'm not biased. I couldn't care less what you do. Okay, maybe I do a little, but to understand, it's like I'm not going to hold your hand tomorrow. Take the lesson and apply it. Tonight you're getting inspired. That's for sure. You're leaving the class. Don't forget, we just split the sea. We're in the sea now. We just split it. Wow. You're going to leave. Follow up with hard work. That's the only way. If you didn't do that, you defeated the purpose. You're back to square one. So you need your gear. Gym membership. Gym membership. Usually, the person who goes into the gym membership, he applies. Not 1 year. What is it? 3 years. What is it? Bally's? Ask the guy, you went membership, you bought Bally's? Everybody, the old timers will tell you, of course, I did it 10 times in my life. How 10 times? The first time you did it, how much did you pay? $600. For 3 years? Yeah. How many times did you go?
6 times.
This is a study. This is not... He said it, right? Why would he say it? Why did it happen to you? Why did it happen to me? Why did it happen to him? Why? Only 12% are consistent. 88%, where are they? Shomea? What happened? Not only did you register, you paid the money, you bought the Nike gear that said, just do it. And you still didn't come. Why does Nike have that logo, just do it? What's that slogan, just do it? I'm gonna just do it. Because they know you're not gonna do it. One time he went. But why? Why does it happen? How did you get to the gym registration? You got inspired for some reason. I don't know. The age maybe kicked in. Maybe you want to look cut up. Maybe the doctor tells you, by the way, right? Whatever reason. Everyone has his own reason. You got inspired somehow. But he didn't follow up. Why? Because the Gemara 2,000 years ago told you, Yagata umatzata tamin. Someone comes and tells you, you know how I became like this? How? I was born. Lo yagata v'matzata gam al tamin. I didn't toil, I didn't sweat, I became steroids. How did he do it? I'd never worked out in my life. I have good genes. The Gemara says also don't believe. He works out. So what's the formula in order to be cut up, in order to be healthy? What's the formula? Workout. Yegiya. So obviously he was very serious when he signed up. He bought the gear and he fell out. Why? Because he doesn't like a human being, the human psyche, they don't like exertion. They don't like restrictions. Restrictions. How do you say restrictions? Boundaries, maybe. Granitza? Okay. It's a good word. That's why they always told me, I was a kid, I was a very big troublemaker. My father told me, if you were in Israel, you should have done the army. You, Dafka, should have done the army. Because in the army, what do they promote? Yegiya. What happens when you come after 3 years? You're like this. You're like this. That's the Gemara comes and tells you. You put the effort, you toil, you put restrictions. Believe it's gonna withhold. You're gonna be a soldier for your whole life. You're gonna be a soldier. So when Yitro came to Moshe, what's going on? Eich Amalek higia. You know how Amalek came? Because it was only inspiration. It wasn't followed up by hard work. We say in Alvi, V'agita bo yomam v'alayla. We say it, but there's no yomam v'alayla. It's Shabbat leShabbat. Rosh Chodesh leRosh Chodesh. Some people Yom Kippur to Yom Kippur. So the answer is very simple. After inspiration, it has to be followed up by hard work. And that's the difference between mediocre people and great people. That's the difference between the 12% that work out and the 88% that don't work out. That's the difference. And that's the difference between consistency and miracles, hence the topic miracle. Everybody wants a miracle. They have this fantasy land that one day they're going to wake up a doctor. They're going to wake up successful. It's not going to happen. There's no fantasy button you're going to push and hey, presto, I woke up, the king of America. No. You have to toil. You have to put in the resilience. You have to put in the integrity. It won't happen in the morning. You're going to wake up. You're a religious, observant Jew. It'll never happen. We can't discount hard work. The inspiration has to be followed up by hard work. Lazy people, there's always lazy people. They sit on the couch, they eat their popcorn, and they watch their movies or whatever they do, and that's laziness. There's no growth. And years go by. And you could apply this message to anything in life. To business, you could apply it to your marriage, you could apply it to relationships, you could apply this to Torah. Many, many facets within this concept. And remember, you won't wake up in the morning to be Rav Ovadia Yosef. It's not going to happen. You have to have Yegiya. It'll never happen. Being an addict, on the other hand, an alcoholic, or a pothead, or a pill popper, and it's a pill popping society, believe it or not, or a gambler, requires no toil. There's no effort there. And believe it or not, the statistics have proven that most people opt for that. Drinking, drugs, gambling, partying, whatever not. Because there's no restrictions. There's no exertion. It's easy. So we all want an easy fix. That's how the human being, that's how scientifically it's built this way. So don't forget, very simple message. You got inspired tonight. You split the seed tonight. Follow up with hard work. That's right. In the snow, you wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and you go to shul. But when you do that 5 o'clock in the morning when you got to shul and you're shoveling out the snow is going to make you not only a mensch, you're going to be a champion. And everybody wants to be a champion. Everybody. Especially Bukharians. Right? Chaplains. So in order to be a champion, you got to put in the work. Put in the work. Don't be scared of work. Take on work. Take on Yigiyah. And also being a Ben Torah, being a Shabbat observant Jew also takes work. You want to keep Shabbat, but it's not working out. It takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice. Giving up from Snapchat. Giving up from Instagram a little bit. Some people on Shabbat, they're Instagramming, YouTubing, driving in their cars. No direction. There's not going to be no greatness there. There's no greatness there. So sometimes we have to man up. We can't be little kids anymore. We have to move into a new direction. And the Torah gives you the platform. The Torah is going to be your foundation. So after a good class, after the miracle inspiration, perhaps, after the Kriyas Yamsuf, we need to understand that it's only the impetus, it's only the motivating cause in order to start the engine, in order to start the mechanism of Yigiyah. What's Yigiyah one more time? Work hard. Hard work. Don't be lazy. And after this class, believe me, when you get into your car, it probably will be forgotten. But if you're smart enough, maybe even tomorrow morning, you remind yourself, one second. I have the opportunity right now to turn it around. I have to apply the inspiration from last night and apply hard work. That's the medicine. That's the mechanism to achieving this. Inspiration plus toil equals, that's it. Success, it equals greatness. And it's true. And the Gemara says, Yagata v'matzata tamim. What's the direction? What's the foundation to make this work? Yigiyah. Consistency. What happens if I want to boil a tea? I want to make tea and I put it on the stove and then I take it out 5 minutes. And then I put it back on an hour later. And I take it out 2 hours later. And I put it back on a minute later. Am I going to have hot tea? Am I going to have hot tea? It never boils, right? What's going to make it boil? You leave it on the stove. Let it penetrate. Correct. Sometimes I'm going to go into a class. I'm going to at least find a class that I like. And I'm going to sit there for a half hour, 40 minutes. And I'm going to start penetrating and I'm going to start boiling. But if I come 5 minutes, if I come 5 days, yes, 1 month, no. 3 months, yes, 6 months, no. You're going to be iced tea, not hot tea. That's the Yagata v'matzata tamim. Inspiration, follow up. With what? With toil. You follow up with toil, it equals greatness. Now, to conclude, less is more. Less is more. Okay. To conclude, at the end of the Parshat, God instructs Moshe Rabbeinu and the Jewish people to build the Mizbeach stone by stone. Stone by stone. Comes Mefarish, comes interpretation, and says, 1 second, why stone by stone? It has to be a complete stone, but I want a series of stones. Why not? Why not a big piece? Call it a day. Today in the houses, they're putting big tiles on the floors. You saw? This is the new item now. 48 by 48 tiles. Long. I went to some Ashkenaz guy in Brooklyn. He had, I think his whole living room was one tile. I don't know how they did it. Like mamish, like maybe 4 pieces, like very long. Art Deco. It's expensive. They make it happen. So over here, when it comes to the Mizbeach, God's, I want piece by piece. What's the message? No, you know what the medicine here is? You know what the metaphor here is? The concept here is everybody wants to take on challenges. Everybody wants to do Moshe Rabbeinu over. They want Lo yagata v'matzata alta. That's what they want. I want a button, Israel. Put me in a machine, push the button, I come out. That's what they want. God says no. Stone by stone, piece by piece, day by day, page by page. You look at a Gemara, it's depressing. This is very depressing. And there's only one. And there's 3 million. And maybe 3 million is, I'm being very it could be 300 million publications on one book, the Torah. So it could be very depressing. So if I look at the whole thing, I'm going to get depressed. There's a rabbi, his name is Rav Moshe Shapiro. He instituted the Daf Yomi, January 1st, 2020. In MetLife Stadium, there's going to be 100,000 Jews in Giant Stadium where they play football for the 7 years. If you learn 1 page a day, in 7 years you finish the whole Gemara, the whole Shas. Okay? If you do 7 pages a day, you'll finish in 1 year. Rav Chaim Kanievsky, he does that. Okay, that's for him. 1 page a day. You know how many people are learning this Daf Yomi? I went to Hong Kong once. I got a Daf Yomi. I'm learning something. I just met a Jew, 20-hour flight. He's on the same mindset as me. We're learning the same sugiyah right now. I go to Israel, same Daf Yomi. I go to Australia, Chicago. It doesn't matter where in the world, it's the same Daf. This one rabbi 100 years ago instituted this. 100,000 here, 100,000 there. In Israel, 50,000 here, 20,000 there. There's about 250,000 Jews. 250,000 Jews that are in the cycle process. But what hit home? How did he accomplish this? A rabbi from 100 years ago? No Facebook, no this, no that. How did he do it? Because he understood the science behind humanity. If you tell them the whole Gemara, the whole book, they're going to fall out. 1 page a day. You come to shul sometimes. They say over here, Kaddish, not Kaddish, Lilu Nishmat. You see the whole shul's there for 1 hour, like everybody comes. And it's 15 minutes. Now, everybody has different styles, right? But if you come to, a more modern Orthodox, maybe Ashkenaz program, the whole tefillah is 1 hour, maybe an hour, 20 minutes. Then they sit down and learn an hour with a little L'chaim Kiddush. But if you come to a shul with just 3.5 hours and all these things, the youth, let's say, they can't sit down. Right? They're 100 miles an hour, and they fall out. So the concept is less is more. Pachot ze yoter. God's saying stone by stone, piece by piece. You can't build a house. An architect wants to build a house. You can't come and say, well, do like this. I'll pay you double the price. I don't have 2 years for you to build this. Take one house from somewhere, bring over here, put it on there like that. Yeah, you can't do that. Piece by piece. Stone by stone. You start with the kitchen. You start with the bathroom. You start with the bedrooms. You start day by day, day by day. Because if not, you're going to fall out. So you got inspiration, fine. Yehuda said, Yam Suf is awesome. I need to follow up with toil. I need to follow up with Yegiah. But the concept here is day by day, piece by piece. Don't come and say, I'm going to come to Shi'ur Torah for 3 hours because I got inspired. I'm going to change my life. No. 5 minutes a day. They even have this item. What is it called? Daily minute? What is it called? Meaningful minute. Kid's a genius. 50,000 subscribers. What's the idea? 1 minute. And you know what? Even 1 minute is too much today. People tell me I don't even open the meaningful minute. In the beginning, it was cute. Now, 1 minute, I can't even open. You hear how deep this thing is? No, because we're in a society today, which is 180 miles an hour. Everything is downloading. If we download an application and it takes too long, Wi-Fi is not working, we get discouraged. Why is it not working fast enough? He tells his wife, change the Wi-Fi program, forget about Verizon, give me a different one. It's going too slow.
I remember I used to send fax. It used to take half a day to get it.
So that's the remedy, boys. The remedy here is stone by stone, piece by piece, yegia, effort, and it's long lasting. A home run, it's a one-time thing. A home run is a one-time thing. Stealing first, getting to second, making an impact, getting around the bases, day in and day out. That's where the bread and butter's at. Rabbi Akiva. How did Rabbi Akiva didn't know Aleph Beis before age 40? What changed him? What's the story? Somebody please call it out. Hey. The rock. Let me ask you a question. What happened in the rock? Drop by drop. Drop by drop. What happened to the rock? What if I would have took all those drops and I would have splashed it on the rock? Would it make a hole? Why? Huh? Take all those drops, Rabbi Akiva's drop by drop, put it in one big bucket. Splash it on it. It's going to make a hole? So Yitro came to Moshe. Moshe, they just split a sea. Moshe says, nah, you don't understand. Drop by drop. Yegia. Thursday night, we got inspired. It's not going to last. You're going to leave tonight. It's not going to last. What's going to last? Drop by drop. Day by day. And that's the formula here, boys. Day by day, progressing slowly. We're not looking for home runs. We don't need the Yamsuf. We don't need the miracle. We need to change our mentality, piece by piece, day by day. Shifti uvet Adonai kol yemei chayai ulchazot benoam Hashem ulvaker behechalo, David HaMelech said. I want to sit in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's home. I want to sit in God's dwelling place, but I want to come in a form as a tourist. Commentaries ask, what was King David saying? I want to come and learn in Hashem's dwelling place your whole life. He says, I don't want to be king. All I want to do is learn throughout my whole life. But at the same token, I want to come as a tourist. Ulvaker bechalo. Shifti b'beit Hashem? Lo, ulvaker bechalo. I want to come as a guest. Why? Because we acclimate as human beings. We get used to the environment. And if we get used to the environment, we can get used to a class. And if we get used to God splitting seas. And if I get used to it, I'm going to be like that veteran, 20 years in shul, his tefillin's on the floor, like. No, I want to come to shul my whole life, consistently. But I want the attitude as if I just came as a tourist or a guest. When a guest comes to the shul, he sits different. When a guest comes to your house, he sits different. But if it's your house, you sit down with the chores. Come to someone else's house, you're not going to come with chores. So King David is saying, I want to come to God's home. Shifti uvet Adonai kol yemei chayai, my whole life. But I want to come as a tourist, as a guest. Ulvaker bechalo. I want to come with the attitude, with the mindset, as if I'm coming for my first time. Like it's my first day on the job. And going slower is growing faster. Growing slower is growing faster. Moving slower is obviously moving a lot faster. What happens if I'm going 100 miles an hour on the highway? Policeman stop, accident. What happens if I go 10 miles an hour? I might not only go save my life, I might see a real estate sign and I take a picture while I'm at it. And I'll make a few dollars on the way. It's good for you. You save your life. You save your children's lives. Whatever you're involved in your community services. And you might pick up a few dollars on the way. Maybe you'll take a little picture or something, some information. So going slower is going faster. How do they say it in Russian? Sem raz. Oh. And what do? That's it. So 7 times you have to measure. Piece by piece. And then we cut. But if we bring that big tile into the house and we say start cutting, and then it's not the same size, we have to wait another 3 months for another shipment. So slower, taking small bites. Now there's many tips I can give you. Maybe you can get a chavruta who could be conducive to your goals. The Gemara says, O chavruta o metuta. Maze chavruta? Chavruta is a one-on-one partner to learn Torah with. The Gemara says, if no chavruta, metuta. What's metuta? Death. How death? I'm alive. I'm breathing. Yeah, you might be breathing, but you're not living. There's a difference. You're breathing, but you're not living. The Gemara says, it's divine. O chavruta o metuta. So you have to find chavruta that's going to be conducive to your goals, and you have to grow gradually, and you have to do step by step, day by day, page by page, not to get discouraged and not to fall out. Inspiration is amazing. Tonight you got inspired. Tonight we split the sea. But it has to be followed up by a giyah. And I have many more, but like we said, less is more, stone by stone. Thank you for listening. לפיכך, הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמרנו לחפש למען צדקו יגיד תורה וידע.